The economist and social theorist Thomas Sowell once said this: "It is usually futile to try to talk facts and analysis to people who are enjoying a sense of moral superiority in their ignorance." One of the accusations that I hear levied against Christians and Christianity, people like me, is that we are close-minded. It strikes me as that as Christians that shouldn't be the case. A sense of moral superiority should not be something that we experience at all, for a number of reasons. First and foremost of which is that Jesus is our example. Who had more right to a sense of moral superiority than Jesus? And yet, who did Jesus meet with? Who did Jesus sit with? Who did Jesus laugh and cry and love and play with? It's always the people who he should have had a sense of moral superiority over, and yet he clearly didn't, because they wanted to be around him. And when you add into that the people that Jesus had the harshest criticism for were those people who had that sense of moral superiority, that sense of moral superiority that allowed them to open the door to the kingdom of God widely for themselves and slam it in the face of others. Those are the people that Jesus criticized most harshly. And when I stop and consider that Jesus is my example, that Jesus is the person that I want to be like, a sense of moral superiority just doesn't fit. When you add into that even if you take the person of Jesus out of the equation, which I wouldn't recommend we do, but even if you were to do so, if it is indeed the case that a sense of moral superiority reinforces our ignorance and makes us incapable of learning and growing, friends, when a body can no longer grow, when a body can no longer adapt, it dies. The surest signal that a body is still alive is that it is able to let some cells die and replace them with new ones. That is a signal of life. That is no less true for our spirits and our souls than it is for our bodies. The ability to adapt and to grow and to learn and to slough off those things that have died and to add new and healthy things is an indication of life. And a sense of moral superiority slams the door on all of those things. That sense of moral superiority is perhaps the single most certain way that you and I can ensure that we stop growing, that we stop living. What is true for our bodies is as true for our spirits. So, for all of those reasons, I would argue that a sense of moral superiority has no place whatsoever in the Christian faith.